record. All right. Welcome, everybody. Hey, buddy. I'm Amanda. It says that I'm Lindsay tonight, but I'm not Lindsay. I'm Amanda, for those of you that don't know me. I am one of Lindsay's personally sponsored coaches. For those of you that are in the September New Coach Mentorship, Lindsay, myself, and Jolene are your lead coaches in there. So you've probably seen each of us at least once go live in there and have also posted. You see the check-in post from me each night, checking in. Tonight we're going to actually work. I'm going to kind of walk through, Jolene and I are going to kind of walk through, like, what does it look like? Like, when I sit down to work each day, what is it that we actually do? Or like, and it might not all be in one sitting, but what are the things that we do every day, or at least try to do every day? Sometimes there are things that you might not get to, but you at least try to hit these things every single day. So we're going to kind of go through those and give you time to actually go do them. A couple of them really quick that I don't think we need to spend time going and doing right this second is clearly, and the most important, because you will not do any of the others if you don't do this, is personal development. Jolene and I hit on this really hard week one of the New Coach Mentorship. And if you've been a coach for a while, because I know we have just coaches from the team in here too, if you've been a coach for a while, you know, we drill this. Like, personal development is key. If you do not fill your mind with positivity and grow, you're trying to grow your mind to be a better person, you cannot help, you're not going to want to pour into others. Trust me. And on days that I'm just feeling like crap, like I just don't feel good, if I pour myself into some personal development, whether that's listening to a good podcast, listening to my audiobook, reading my book, reading the Bible. I just moved this weekend and I set up my office, and I have little things like everywhere that are just little reminders. I've got my Universe Has Your Back cards that are right next to me, and I pull one each day. There's just little things. I have this little joy book that has little quotes and things in it. I mean, it's just literally, my whole office is just personal development in a sense. It's just positivity, positive words all over. Because if your mind isn't filled with that, you're not gonna be able to fill others' minds with positivity. And to be honest, that is like our main goal as coaches. Yeah, we help them with their nutrition. Yeah, we help them with their mindset, with their fitness. But they can't do either of those if they don't have the right mindset. And so really you're trying to help them with their mindset and then holding them accountable to doing their workout and working on their nutrition to live a healthy lifestyle, right? So personal development, we're not going to spend time going to do that right now, but hopefully you took away a couple little things. I love these Universe Has Your Back cards. And I just like pull one each day. And also the other thing that you should do every day is check your back office. If you don't know how to log into your back office, you need to do that first. You did need to know how to do that. Hopefully you do. That was one of the first things you probably learned, but it's coach.teambeachbody.com. And you sign in with your username and password. And a few things that you should check in your back office each day is the news. There are like announcements in there, such as today, Pumpkin Spice SWAT or Pumpkin Spice Shakeology launched. It basically broke the internet. You weren't able to order for like hours after you were supposed to be able to order. I ordered 5 boxes, and I plan to actually sell most of those off myself. But hopefully you've been talking to people about that. And last I saw about an hour ago was that it was set. They were about 75% sold out. So if you did not get any yourself yet, make sure you go get some for yourself. And if you're talking to anybody personally that wants to order, make sure you do that. But in your back office, you're checking the news, you're checking for any new orders that have come through. When you become kind of a ranked coach, emerald, diamond, etc., you're going to start looking at your volume. You're going to start looking at your downline and helping your downline to stay active, things like that. You don't really need to worry about that stuff until you start building a team. But a couple things that just as a brand new coach, just checking your orders. After a month, if you hit Success Club 10, then you start getting free leads from Beachbody. So you want to check for those free new customers and be emailing them. To be honest, most don't respond, but you still want to send them an email, and you do once in a while get some response, and people that want to, join your Facebook group or your challenge group on the app, whatever it may be, however you run your groups. What else that I'm like, we don't really need to do it right now. I think those were the two things that, like, those are daily behaviors. Oh, and then posting on social media. Like, clearly after this call, it would be great. We'll take a picture. You can go post that on social media. We're not going to take time right now for you to go post, but that is clearly a part of our job. Like, this is a social media marketing business. It is a network marketing business. We do that on social media. So whether you're using Facebook or Instagram or both, you need to be sharing your life and your story daily, not just your fitness and nutrition, but your lifestyle. Like, share about your kids, share about if you go, like, I don't have kids. I have a new dog. Well, it's Patrick's dog. I just moved in with my boyfriend. So I've been sharing stuff about Patrick. I share about the kids that I nanny with. I don't post like full pictures of them, but I'll post like far away pictures or backs of them, just for privacy of the family, and things like that. So you're posting that on your social media walls and then also on your Instagram story. You guys, it is like life. I am connecting with so many people that way, and we'll talk about connecting in a second. And I'll actually like tell you what's been working. I got a kind of a tip from Lindsay lately that has been helpful with connecting with people that have been watching my stories. So with that said, those are kind of things that you should be doing every single day. It used to be post 3 to 5 times a day. I'll be honest, I don't post 3 to 5 times a day anymore. Maybe once. I definitely try to get one. I will be honest, myself, on the weekends, I kind of disconnect and I don't always post. Some people will be like, that's a total no. You need to be posting to keep your algorithm and blah, blah, blah. And I would agree with that. However, I have a life and I don't want to be like ruled by this job. Like, I became a full-time coach to have the freedom, and I don't want to have to be like, I have to go post right now if I don't want to post, or I don't want to be on my stories. Just is what it is. Feels good when I disconnect. So don't feel bad if you don't post one day. Like, literally, guess what? No one's going to notice. No one's going to know that you didn't show up. Yes, it's kind of like a store. You do need to show up. You can't go disappear for weeks and then come back and think that people are going to know that your store is still open. However, if you miss a day of posting, most people aren't going to notice. So don't worry about it. And to be honest, in my newsfeed on both Facebook and Instagram, I'm seeing posts from like days ago more than I'm seeing like the posts that were posted today. So keep that in mind too. Yes. All right. Connecting. Let's start there. No, let's start with adding to your network. How about that? Sound good? Do you want to do that one, Jillian? Or we can both kind of give tips, but what do you think?
Yeah, sure. Sorry for anybody who cares that I'm like shoving my face full of popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just had time to sit down and freaking scarf some food, and now I'm having some popcorn too. Mm-hmm. I don't have any alcohol, and I'd probably drink an alcohol if I had that. Anyways, that's how we work. So you guys, inviting. So this is what I want you to do right now, since like some of you are probably like, all right, let's work, right? Yeah. A lot of us on this call, we know what we're doing. Maybe if you're catching the recording, it's great. Sometimes it's nice to just to dive in and fail forward. So you can be working as we're talking. We completely understand that because our time is valuable. So adding people to your network, the biggest thing for me right now, like I will say that's been a huge, like filling my funnel. I just spit all over my computer. That's been a huge thing to fill my funnel for like the next couple of months. It's been a free group. So I would suggest doing that. If you didn't watch our video on that or didn't catch that memo about how we were doing a free group, then be sure to ask or reach out. But it's just one, asking for referrals and asking people to tag you in things like, hey, if this resonated with you, tag a friend who needs to hear this, right? Because then we're getting in front of their network. So that's one way to add, which I find has been really great right now for me in this season. And then two is obviously just finding a way to connect with people. So I will go through and look at my mutual friends again. That's always something I think over time that you should go back and revisit, because new people will pop up. And as you add those referrals, so you don't really know, you'll find that you may have a couple mutual friends. So then they're going to pop up different mutual friends that maybe you should friend request. So I think that that's really important to go back to do that. And we can do that and share our screen and show you. If you don't know how, pipe up and ask. Otherwise, we'll assume that you know how to do that. And so go ahead and start adding a few people. If you are in like a mutual group of, like Lindsay just said, maybe she's in a nannying group. Maybe you're in a mom's group, right? What do they call, like mops or something like that? Maybe you're in one of those groups, or maybe you're in a dog group. Like if you have pets, this is another thing that I'm going to tell you. I don't have pets because I'm not really a pet person, but I sometimes wish I was, so that I could belong to this community of people who are obsessed and make friends instantly because of your pets. I'm not even kidding. This is not a lie. You dog, cat people like have like you like whisper to each other. Like it's insane. Okay. So if you are not like your breed of dog, whatever your dog, whatever kind of dog the dog you have is, go and find that group on Facebook. Yeah, seriously, it's crazy. So go and find that. Like one friend of ours or a coach of ours has a page for her dog. And that's how they meet other people. Like it's insane. She sold challenge packs then to like those parents, right? Those parents of those dogs and cats. So find those groups. And if you're in a group right now, I challenge you to reach out to a couple people and add them to your network. Of course, scour their page first. Go see if they're like you. If it's somebody that you actually want to be friends with, because we don't have to friend request people. We don't have to add people to our network that we don't want to, right? So go ahead and do that. Go ahead and find those people. And then Amanda, are you going to talk about adding on Instagram? Or do you want me to talk about that too?
I can. If you want to do just like a general adding, and then I'll just type in about.
So as you're perfect. Yeah. So as you guys are doing this, go ahead and add in the text box, so we know the first names of people that you're adding as we're talking. Okay. On Instagram, hashtags are another thing. So let's stick with the dog theme or the cat theme, right? So let's say it's a Maltese or something. I don't know what kind of dog that is, but let's say it's a Maltese. And so you're going to hashtag Maltese, and then you're going to find those people who have a Maltese, who have hashtag Maltese too. So you can go in, start looking at their profile and add them. And you know why it's not going to be weird? Because you guys have this really unknown, unwritten speaking language of the fact, oh, she has a dog. So you will totally connect right then and there because of the fact that you also have a Maltese, right? Or a Himalayan cat, right? So go and find those hashtags, Maltese and brown Maltese, blue-eyed Maltese, like whatever it is about those things, and start using those hashtags and find a few people tonight who are that alone. Like one for me is post-hip surgery or labrum tear or cam impingement. So I will go and use that hashtag, and I will scour and I will search for people who are like me, who maybe had surgery, who were also a nurse, who also can't wait to get back into their fitness. Okay, so that's another way for you to add people to your network. I mean, the ways are unlimited, you guys. There's so many different ways now than there used to be when we first started. But the hashtag thing, you've got to nail it down. And if we need to, give us your feedback, and we can kind of like a brainstorming session where we sit and we like rattle off. Like Spruha would say, white wine, and I would say Pinot, I would say chilled. Then we could just find different words that all go along with that one thing that you like, and then you can find other people based on that. And it's crazy because we speak in hashtags now, you guys. We like live in hashtags. That's how we find other people who are like us. So that's a huge way to be adding people to your network, and you're doing yourself a disservice and your team a disservice and the people around you who need to be in your life if you're not actually using hashtags on Instagram. And you can even technically use hashtags on Facebook too. So it may be a way that you find it. Obviously it's more prevalent on Instagram, but you can also find hashtags on there. So I think that's kind of a couple of my tips right now that I'm really using that seems to be doing good. Added Michael, Dan, good. All from him. Hell yeah. See, and there you go. So Dante's, he was military before. And so, yeah, that's a great way. He was in a group. He's decided to add them all. You're already in the group. So you've kind of made that connection, but then now here is your chance to friend them. And then later on, when we talk about connecting, it kind of leads into that. But when we talk about connecting, you could send a message right away and say, hey, Michael, I think that's his name. Hey, Michael, I saw that we're in the same, military group. What branch were you in, or what part were you in, or where did you do your time? Or I don't know if you say it like that, but that sounded like Jill, but where did you do your service at? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that, probably not how you would say it, or maybe you would say it like that because maybe it was shitty, but you know what I mean? So then you can go right into also the connecting part, which is really, really important as well. So I'm going to let Amanda come back and touch if she needs to on inviting, or we can just go right into connecting.
Yeah, for adding. The only thing for me, if you guys have not watched, so it's in the Goal Getters, and I can post it here in the September New Coach Group too. My video on using Captivate and Cleaner for your Instagram. Like, I really don't have to focus too much on like adding daily. I do go into Captivate. I need to make that a habit to do it daily now that I'm settled into my new place, but I'm not having to like go through Instagram and be like, try to find random people because I'm using Captivate. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to go watch the video that I'm going to post because it really helps. It has helped me connect with like people that are like me, that are interested in similar things by connecting with them from profiles that we both follow, basically. So for example, Hum Nutrition is one, a nutrition product that I started using. And so I'm following people who also follow and like Hum Nutrition's posts, or like the Every Girl. My church has been a big one. So I've been connecting with a lot of Christian women, or connecting with even Denver Christian women who have been great. Like I had no idea. I connected with this girl who's an intern at my church, and we've been chatting, and like she's super new to Colorado, and I'm sure she's pretty young, but like we've been chatting a ton. What is called the app? Captivate, and then Cleaner. Is that what you're asking? Okay. So I will share that video as soon as we get out of here. So there are two different apps. One helps you follow people. One helps you unfollow people, basically, because once you follow, you don't want to have your followers a ton more than you're following. So watch the video that I did. I did a training in for our team a couple weeks ago. That was like super helpful. And literally I grew my Instagram from like 300 to 1,000 in like a month. Like legit. Like maybe 6 weeks, but still, that's a lot. And they're real people. They're not like nobodies. So hopefully you're either working while we're talking, or I will shut up for 2 minutes and let you go add some people on Facebook and Instagram. And I'll see if I can find that video while we're doing that. I will put it. Here's the link to it in the chat section. You guys, because you're on the call, get it first. And then I will put it in the September New Coach Group too. And then Jolene, if you want to like copy it and put in your team page, feel free to do so. I'm going to put it in a file. Oops. Okay. So that's one thing that we do. We want to add new people because we want more people to be that we can then connect with. So that's the next thing that we do as coaches, is then once we have these new people in our network, we want to connect with them. So few ways to do that. Kind of Jolene touched on it really quick, like about the military group. That's one way. Hey, we're both in this military group together. XYZ. I could say, hey, we're both in this boxer group together. I have a boxer. How old's your boxer? Boom. Start connecting. Like, and then the conversation will go. Like, don't overthink it. I used to completely overthink it and be like, where's it going to go? I don't know what else to talk about. It happens. Most people, some people don't. Most people ask a question back when they're asked a question. So most people do. Some people don't. And then you can continue to ask questions. If they don't respond, they don't respond. they're rude, they're not your people. Move on. Like, don't take it personally. It is what it is. I've been connecting on Instagram through my stories, which Lindsay, because I was like, gosh, sometimes again, I overthink the connecting with people, and like, what's a great way to connect with people through your story. So if I go to my stories and I go to the farthest story away, I don't know how to say that, like the story from 24 hours ago, let's say, and I go to see who's watched it, then I can just shoot a message to anyone who might be a new person to watch it. And I just say, hey, thanks for watching my story. What do you do? I'm not kidding. That is all I say. And people respond. And they're like, oh, I do blah, blah, blah. And then I had one girl, this is awesome. I hope this turns into something, because she was like, I didn't even ask, like, why do you watch my story? I just said, hey, thanks for watching my story. What do you do? And she was like, I just admire you so much. Like, I wish I had the energy you have, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, whoa, thanks. Okay. She's like, I follow you because I just love your energy and I wish I had it. And it turns out that she's a teacher. She's a high school teacher. And this literally happened today. So we're just starting the connection. So we're able to chat. You're not always going to get that. You're sometimes just going to get people that say, I work at Raising Cane's. And I was like, what's Raising Cane's? Like, you can always come back with a question. I had no idea what Raising Cane's was. Do you guys know? It's apparently a restaurant. She's a server or something. So or something else. The girl works in a mine. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, what do you do in a mine? Like, what? And now she tagged me in one of her stories, working in the mine today. And I was like, oh, cool. So it's literally that simple. Like, don't overthink it. Just literally send, hey, thanks for watching my story. What do you do? You can get more in depth. Sometimes I'm like, hey, thanks for watching my crazy life on stories. I know sometimes it's like nuts. Like, what do you do? Just keep it simple. Don't overthink it. And you will turn, like, I have many of those connections that are definitely turning into more like relationships that I feel like now I go to their story. That's another way. So that's one way, is to go to your farthest story away 24 hours ago. And this is, I'm just speaking Instagram right now. And then another way is, I was just doing this right before I jumped on this call. I was going through my stories and skipping over all of the coaches and going to the people who are not coaches and watching their story and sending them a message. And many times it's not a question. It's just sending them like, oh my God, that's hilarious, or LOL, or something, whatever, just to start that connection. So then when they see your name, they're like, oh, that girl messaged me. Huh. When they see your story pop up, they may watch your story, or they see your profile, a post pop up, they're going to pay more attention to your post. So you're at least like connecting with them by getting in their inbox. So that's another way. I'll give one more thing and then I will maybe let you go do some connections. So one more thing that I also talked about, I think I spoke about this on the IG growth video that I just posted here, was creating collections of people in your Instagram. Basically, you can save people's posts and put them in a collection. So for example, future prospect, future clients, future customers, future challengers, whatever you want to call them, people who you see and you're like, I want to invite them to a challenge group. Not right now. I want to connect with them some more and build that relationship. So I'm going to put them in this collection called future customers. And then each day I'm going to go see if they have a new post, or I'm going to go see if they have a new story. And I'm going to like their post, comment on their post, and send them a message about their story. Sometimes they don't have, like I have people who sometimes they don't have a new post and they don't have a story that day. So maybe they don't, might not send them anything, or I might just send a like check-in if I had talked to them before. But then you have like this collection of people, this list of people on Instagram that you're wanting to connect with. And so that you can kind of work through that list each day, essentially. You can do that for potential coaches as well. But you can create these collections, and that video will teach you how. I will be quiet so you can go make some connections.
And I just want to add in real quick, while you're making those connections, post in the chat the names of the people that you are one-to-one connecting with. And then if you didn't listen to the wake-up call from last Monday, it was with Meg Wazinski or Meg Kozlowski now, the PB&J method. Go back. It's a really, really good one, and it talks about how to do this, like in lifetime examples, and it was huge. Like, I'm going to list it again tomorrow because I was impressed. So just saying, put that on your working to-do list is to go back to that. That will help you guys a lot with the connections and the conversations and all of that. So
I have not watched that one, so I will.
Oh, it was great. It was really, really good.
Yeah. Something else. I have the same thing. Are you adding every day, Spearhead? She said, I'm finding the same people watch my stories, but not as many new people. I think you need to make sure that you're adding using Captivate each day. I have been stuck at the same number because I had not been adding, to be honest. With the move and stuff, it just was not something that was going on in my life. But if you're adding through Captivate, I'd say daily, a good amount of people, I would guess that more people would be watching it.
My 2 cents on that too is make sure you're using your location, make sure you're using hashtags in your story. Like on your story, you can make them really small if you don't want to, because I find that one of them was a really weird hashtag. Oh, it was swimmers from like Lift 4. Like I just hashtag swimmers. Not that people are going to know that not that people are going to know that goes with Lift 4, but I had like 100+ extra viewers on my story that were viewing the hashtag swimmers. So it may just be that you need to find something else too.
Yeah.
And go find those hashtags, because once those people, they see you've seen their story or that you've liked, they're interested, they're going to come back and watch your story. So it takes time. That's not the stuff that's hard, but it takes time. So I would definitely be doing that.
Yeah. And you said average number. I literally average 100 people that watch my story, and I have a little over 1,000 followers. So it's not that high of a number. I think you really have to have a pretty high number of followers to have I don't know. But I also don't use hashtags in my stories as often as I probably could. How many do I add each day? I don't, like I said, I've not been consistent, but it's probably ranged 100 or so, 50 to 100 maybe if I'm consistent with it. And then connecting on Facebook really quick, I would say similar types of things. If it's new people, really I focus a lot on people who've liked and commented on posts, and that's who I connect with. Or I've had a lot of people, I think some other network marketing companies are starting to teach people the way we do things, and I'm getting so many ads, like people are adding me, and I'm just saying, yeah, accept, like, sure. I mean, if it's someone who, who has multiple mutual friends with me, sure, I'll add you, like, whatever, and it's like interesting that my mindset is that way. And I wonder what people think when I add them. And it's like, I wonder if theirs is the same way, so who knows? So that's connecting. Do you want to speak to inviting, Jillian?
All right. So let's go into inviting real quick. So the focus of the week this week, which I think Amanda went live earlier. Okay. Focus of the week this week is inviting to the Coach Sneak Peek.
I kind of spoke a little bit about still inviting to a challenge group, because I know Lindsay's downline is still inviting to that. So kind of following up with that. And then I did touch on inviting to the Coach Sneak Peek, but I could not remember when we decided that was going to be.
Yeah. So either way, just inviting you guys. And maybe I think the thing about inviting too is you're like, oh my gosh, well, I don't have anybody to invite to my challenge group. I don't have anybody to invite to the coach opportunity. I don't know what I'm supposed to be inviting to right now because this person is saying this and I missed it and here's my date. So here's the thing. The dates are always just tentatively, right? The main thing that we want you guys to take away is that you should be inviting to something. It doesn't matter what it is. Don't get caught up in all the other stuff about, it's just making the connection and then inviting. And you can just say, hey, inviting to your group. Whether you don't have to specify right then and there if it's a free group or it's a challenge group, you can decide after that once they've said yes or no, and then you can decide how to move on with that. But inviting, we overthink, including myself at times. And it's sometimes as easy as, and I'm going to talk about coaching inviting just because we're going to be moving into that. And I think we've touched a lot on how to invite to a challenge group. Inviting to the coaching opportunity is the same thing, you guys, except you're going to talk about it from a business standpoint. Like, what are their pain points? And what do I mean by that is, what do they need help with in their life? Would they love to have a little more cash to put second helpings on their table, or a little extra cash to buy some organic ingredients, or be able to go to dinner with their family because they don't ever do that. They don't ever eat out. Or maybe it's because they want to save up enough to take their family on vacation. Like, those are people's pain points. Like, what do they want? Maybe more time to cut back at their job, like by a day. And if Beachbody Income can replace one day of their regular job, then they'd be able to stay home an extra day and work a couple hours, but have that extra time. So you have to figure it out what it is. And sometimes it comes from just speaking from the heart. Like, hey, I see that you've been following me and I love your page as well. We're actually doing a coach sneak peek this group, which basically is just be a fly on the wall and check out what it is I do. And if it's something that would be right for you and your family. I'd like to invite you to be a part of that. If not, no big deal. But if you do, I'd love to send you a packet of our newest flavor, pumpkin spice Shakeology, for your time, for getting in there and giving me your feedback. Do you want to jump in with us? Boom. That was a pretty simple invite. Hopefully that was a pretty not scary invite. I could send that to 10 people right now just because, for one, they're going to come in and probably give me their feedback. And two, they're going to be compensated for their time, right? And that didn't cost us much at all. Or another way is just invite and leaving out that freebie. Just say, hey, I love your page. You're already doing what I do. Did you realize that you could get paid and actually make money to XYZ, fill in the blank, whatever it is, to continue doing what you're doing? And you're like, what? I can't? So there's different ways to invite that way. And we basically do the setting up of the inviting for you. Like, what I mean by like the events, whether it's going to be a 1-day event we host, a 1-hour event we host, a 3-day, or a behind the scenes like event or group. So we do that work for you guys. It's just you going out and picking a number. And I would say, everybody this week, make sure you're at least inviting 20 people. That sounds like a lot, but it's really not. That's what, over the next week, 3 people a day, right? Mm-hmm. 3 people a day, just to be like, hey, have you ever considered? That's one sentence that changed my life about 3 years ago, right? Why did I overthink anything more than that? Hey, have you ever considered doing what I do? Boom, period, end of statement. Wait for them to respond. What do you do? Well, thank you for asking. I'd love to tell you more. Did you want to be a fly on the wall in our next event that we're hosting on, let's just say Thursday. That's not really true, but on Thursday, right? Did you see how that was like a super easy transition into that? So I think the biggest thing is just to not be scared or intimidated. And if you are, a good book, a good personal development recommendation would be the 5-second rule, is to not overthink it. You guys think about, if the person you're sitting on this call, Spruha, Chad, Kristen, Dante, and Alicia, think about, if your sponsor didn't invite you to this opportunity, if they hadn't asked you, maybe once, maybe it was 20 times, because you're like, I don't like her. Actually, in fact, I'm going to block her because she has too much energy and she's too freaking happy. And I don't want to see another spammy post of hers, right? And some people have done that. And then later on, they're like, damn, I want to drink the Kool-Aid because she's still so happy and I'm still so miserable over here. Right. But think about, if your coach did not invite you to this opportunity, what would your life look like? I mean, if you're like me, I don't want to even envision that, because it would be very, very horrible. Okay. So think about that. And so you just never know where other people are, and you're doing a disservice to them by, what's the word? Projecting what you think they need or don't need onto them. It's not up to you to do that. Your job is just to invite people. And maybe they say yes, maybe they say no. And we all know no just means not right now, right? So you never know what they're putting your life for. And it's up to you to just put it out there. Okay. Put no strings attached. Don't attach your emotion. Easier said than done. I know, but take the emotion out of it and just think, okay, if this changed their life, like it's changed mine, then I would want them to share no matter how spammy they thought they were or what somebody was going to say about me. Right? You guys understand like the difference of like being passionate and understanding that this can change your life. And then when you pour that onto other people, they get that. And it's not just, they don't think, oh, she's being spammy. She just wants to sell me something. No, they can read that. And if it's a voice message, they can hear that in your voice. And if it's a video, they can see that in your face. And again, hear it in your voice. Okay. So sit down and invite, right now, at least three people, whether it's like, hey, I know that last month you were interested in my challenge group and the timing wasn't right for you. And I wanted to reach out now and say, I'm forming my next challenge group. It's going to start a week from Monday. And I wanted to know if the timing's right for you now, or if this is a better time in your life where you can commit and go after you and get back to where you want to be. Boom. That's an invite for a challenge group. So do 3 of those and add the names of the people that you're inviting. Same thing on Instagram. Instagram works the same way, just direct messenger.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's like Flume that you can use, which I want to learn how to use. So
yeah, it's just on your computer.
Yeah. I don't know if you have anything to add about inviting, but
no, that was like awesome.
I just spoke from the heart right there. I got a little passionate.
Yeah, you did. It was awesome.
I really do think about sometimes, like I worked outside of the house today, you guys, and it's like I worked like 10 hours and it just the whole time I'm just sitting there thinking like, I'm not gonna say this sucks because I enjoy what I do, but it's just different. Like it's just not my passion anymore. I just and again I was just like I'm so thankful for this, for what we do, and I don't care that people think we're what we think we are, like they just have no idea, because if they knew, they'd be a lot happier and they would want to do it too. So
seriously, most people have no idea. They have preconceived notions of what Beachbody is. Like, I was just listening to a video on Beachbody Champions today of Jessica Lanier, I think is her name. Mm-hmm. And she was a certified nutritionist and she was a nurse in a prison. And she had all these preconceived notions of what she thought Beachbody is. She was like, I was so wrong. And now she does so much like research on Shakeology. Like she has some awesome videos on like Shakeology that she's done the research, and she's talked to the VP of nutrition because she really wants to know, and she's broken it down. So I'll actually find her YouTube channel and share it here because I was just checking it out myself.
Yeah, it's true. And I was the same way too. I thought the people on the infomercial were paid actors, and I was like, the hell they get results like that? The hell they do?
Yeah.
Like I literally thought that, and I thought, oh, that's a pyramid scheme. And now I have this really funny cartoon that I send people. When people say, oh, that's a pyramid scheme, I'm like, wait a minute, I got a really good, I should share it. I should share it in the group too, because it's a great third-party resource for you guys, because afterwards they're kind of like, oh, I feel really dumb now. This clearly is not this clearly is not a pyramid scheme. So I'll see if I can find that little cartoon and I'll share it in the team page too. So yeah.
She even pulled up like 2, like, people always go do their own Shakeology research and they find all the bad stuff. Uh-huh. She's like, she pulled up 2 of those and like literally went through each one of them and was like, this isn't true. This isn't true. This is just someone's bias, XYZ. So that was pretty good. All right. So invites, share the names. And then I think the last thing would be follow-ups. And really follow-ups is just really that. People who either maybe last month, as Jillian was saying, last month they weren't ready. So you want to follow up with them. So you want to have a list of those people who maybe told you no. And then you can go back to them. And because no just means not right now, if anything, just check back in with them and then invite them again as the conversation continues. Another follow-up is from the free Crock-Pot group last week. That was insane. Make sure you are following up. If you have not already I just read video. If you have not already messaged and checked in with each of those people, you need to do that. Those are follow-ups, really, that then will turn into invites to your challenge group, hopefully. That's the goal. Or the coaching opportunity. One thing I talked on the focus video this week was you need to pay attention to the people who are like rock stars in groups. they're already doing what we do as coaches, right? And so you need to pay attention to those people and invite them to the coaching opportunity. Give them some praise. Let them know that, do you know that you're already doing what we do as coaches? You are so encouraging. Like, you're supporting everyone. You're commenting on everyone's posts. You're posting and sharing your own journey yourself already. You should be a coach, you know? So, or have you ever considered doing what I do? So many times people just don't even realize that they can do what we do. It's kind of surprising, but, or that we actually make money doing it. So that's kind of follow-ups, and just kind of from people that you've talked to that maybe you need to reconnect with. That's a follow-up. So you just want to be consistently following up with people that maybe the conversation dropped, they didn't respond. If they didn't respond to your last message, it likely is that they just forgot. Most people don't live in their messenger like we do. And so they probably read it as they were at a stoplight, and then they completely forgot to respond to you. That I'm like forgetful as all get out over here, like so bad. So I have to like leave things marked as unread, or else I will not respond to people. But people don't live that life like we do. They're not using their messenger as their like daily email as they're connecting with people. Like, they're just not. So most of the time, if they didn't respond to you, probably because they forgot to respond to you. So just be like, hey, I don't want to bother you, but did you see my last message? Or, you know, maybe I know how life can get crazy. Like, were you still interested in joining my next challenge group? Just keep it simple. I think that's it. Anything else, Jillian? Any questions from anybody?
Yeah, that was good. I mean, follow-ups, I think the fortune is in the follow-up, you guys. Like they say, there's times I have forgotten to follow up with people, and I'm like, damn it, why did I not? Because if it's not you who's following up with them, guess who it is? Somebody else trying to sell them something else that we know. I mean, honestly, that we know doesn't work. It may work for a short time, but then they're going to be back and they need something else. In all reality, it's true.
Yep.
We are different than everybody else. So
yeah,
ask questions. This is your time before we hop off. I mean, no question is a dumb question. There's something that you're struggling with, or that you just don't understand, or if you're even listening to this recording, I mean, post it so that we can help you. Because again, you guys, we can't help you. We can't give you our 2 cents and give you our feedback if we don't know, you know? Okay.
Exactly.
Spruha, go. You can unmute.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, Facebook tracking, I know that we're used to doing like some sort of like pen to paper, things like that. I feel like with Instagram, because it's so like you can have so many more followers. I've asked this before about tracking Instagram followers and like how you're responding to them and blah, blah, blah. With Instagram, it feels like, you know, obviously you can have so many more followers at one time. And so my Facebook post, the same exact post might only get 10 likes on Facebook, but it might get like 40 or 50 likes on Instagram because people just, you know, double tap and move along. And so I guess I'm just wondering, what's your recommendation? I know Lindsay just is like, you know, I do it the same way for both, but like, I'm just wondering, how do you guys track on Instagram? Because it feels like if I'm going to sit here and write down every single person that likes my post, it's like, that's like, I'm writing for a long time sometimes. And I don't really feel like that's an efficient use of time. But then if I don't do that, then I lose track of who I have to follow up with.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take it first. What I think I'm hearing you asking is that when you're tracking on Instagram, are you saying you should write down all the people that are liking your stuff just because they're liking it, or that you're actually going and then sending a message to?
Yeah, so my intention is to follow up and invite them, like on it, like on a call to action or something.
Yeah, so obviously I think that you should write it down, in my opinion, and I'll tell you why in a second. And like, my mind was blown about this, but yes, you should do that, especially if you're making the connection with them to talk to them. Now, then you would maybe move them or add them to a different tracking sheet once they've maybe followed you back, or you're equally following each other, or you've moved them to also to Facebook if that's your thing. You know, if that's your goal, to get them over there too. But I mean, I would say, I know it seems tedious, and I would have maybe said a week ago that it was tedious and I don't know if you need to do it, but after being at the retreat that we were on and hearing from Chalene Johnson, you guys, like, do it. Pen to paper, get a Google Doc that's like connections. And so maybe you're typing instead of writing, or, you know, and then you're doing it in pockets of time. So you're not getting burnt out in that, or you're scheduling that specific time for that specific action. But Chalene specifically told us, we had a one-on-one with her, you guys, and it was insane. Let me just say, if you're a Chalene fan, but
awesome.
She talks to herself. She allows time to message back 500 people a day. Herself. So like the true connection is where it's at. Okay. And so there is a way though for you, this Spruha, and I don't know if you watch this video or if I shared this with you guys already, but she shared with us how she does that. So she is connecting one-on-one, but she really has personally only wrote the message one time. And then she's using a text replacement, right? So I don't know if you guys saw that, but that's what you should be doing. And so make up that text replacement for yourself. So if those people are liking your call to action, it's like join my, you know, September Fall into Fitness group. And instead of one-to-one being like, hey, thank you so much for, and you're typing it, you're text replacing it and you're boom. Because there's no way that she could be messaging 500 people by typing out every single message, the same message. So creating a text replacement specifically for that thing is what you should be doing, because that right there is going to take your time from like 30 minutes in time messaging, you know, those 30 people back, if it took you a minute a person, to now 15 seconds a person to be able to hit CR or CH, and then your text replacement verbiage comes up and you hit send. And you hit send, and you hit send and send. You know what I mean? So I know it doesn't seem like much because you're like, oh, well, a minute to 15 seconds. Well, think about that. That freaking adds up. So that's my 2 cents on that. I think it's so right. Yeah. Okay. I just did a video training on this, Amanda. I will share it with you because my mind was like all of us were sitting there like, how is she doing this? So,
I was familiar with that, but I never made the connection. I always use it for personal use. You know, like OMW for like on my way, you know, or something like that.
No, like, so I'll show you guys like right now. I wonder if I can plug I don't know where my charger is, but this is great info. But so let's see on my text, I could say CH or actually Croc. So it was for Croc. And so I start to type in CR, and then what's going to come up is this, the general. So it's, thanks so much. So then this whole paragraph, you can see that now, this whole paragraph popped up by me typing in CR. Oh. And so now it says, thanks so much for wanting to be part of my Crockett Like It's Hot group. I hope that you engage, ask questions, check out the awesome meal plan provided along with the Crock-Pot meals. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm excited to see you rock the crock and your nutrition in general this week. See you soon. Boom. So yes, you should be using that for your business, because now all those people who messaged you, Dante, the training I obviously forgot to post yesterday, but it's insane. So I'll share it with you. It's like 10 minutes, super creepy, super crazy and mind blowing. So, so you're saying spend the time to track and then save the time with things like, yes. Because what Chalene said is, she goes, because Allison Thornton had asked, like, so these people who are responding like personally to 50 people and they're trying to connect with 50 people a day, do you think it's worth it? And in a roundabout way, she finally came out and said, yes. That is the most beneficial and valuable way to spend your time, is to be in the connection, which say you just said, oh, okay, thanks, like whatever. But then when Chalene Johnson has time and she didn't just message you back a sentence like, oh, where did you get your bed from? When she's doing this, like, make your bed challenge, where'd you get your bed from? She didn't just say, oh, from, you know, Barrels and Crates. I don't even know if they sell beds, but Barrels and Crates, right? She went on to say, hey, thanks so much for thanks so much for your question. Like, I'd love to answer, or like whatever. And then she said, you know, this is the bed. And she gave way more value and way more information, like 3 paragraphs long. And then like gave them way more than they needed on why they should have a better bed and where they could find it for a good deal and how you can bargain shop and all this other stuff. And then they're like, oh my gosh, like Chalene Johnson just messaged me back. But not only did she message me back, she took the time to type out a 3-paragraph response. How would that make you feel? Like, I mean, pretty blown away. They're like, Spruha's so busy. I can't believe that she even messaged me back. And not to mention the fact that she messaged me info. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that helps. Okay, so Chad says, so is this the best and most efficient way of inviting, or at least starting a combo in a big? And like, this is more of like the after. And you could do this for, like, say you post a recipe and everyone's like, what's your recipe? You know, how many people do that? That happens to me all the time. And then I go and copy and paste. I type it out again. This is saving you time. So Chad, I think initially the invite or like the initial connection, unless they're responding to something you've already put out, then you could use this. Or if it is, you are just like saying happy birthday, like, hey, how are you? You could use it as that, as your initial connection. If you have a happy birthday invite or a connection that you use, or
the thanks for watching my story. What do you do?
Yes. Yeah. So like Amanda should go and make one of those right now. We all should have one of those right now that says, hey, thanks for watching my story, because why are we typing that out every time?
Yeah.
I did it though too. That's what I did.
I know. So I was copying and pasting a lot,
and I don't think that it throws the authenticity out, Chad, because this is just initial. Then when you're going into like what do you do, or like what do you need help with? That's personalized, you know? So you will go back and then be able to then deepen the relationship, I guess you'd say. But yeah, I mean, do you think that anybody really works? People who we think, like, I know when like Shalene likes something of mine or posts something, I'm like, oh my gosh, like that was crazy. She did that. You know, she's so busy and all of these things. So it's the same thing. People view us a lot how we view people that we look up to, except for some reason we think that we're not valuable enough, or people really don't think that way about us, but they do. Cause they're like, oh my gosh, Shalene, you're so busy. I don't know how, like, thank you so much for sending me this message. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I'm not busy. Yeah. Like, does it seem, you know what I'm saying? So people do look at us like that too, you guys. So know what we do is valuable, and taking that time. So I don't think it takes away from authenticity at all. You're being genuine. You've wrote the message yourself from the heart. It's just now that you're working smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree. And the only thing I would throw in for tracking is trying to use those collections. Like you can put all those people into a collection, like in case if you're like at work or something, and then later you want to write them down. I do think pen to paper.
And what was the collection thing again?
So you can save, essentially you're saving a post, but then you can create these collections. They're lists. Do you remember lists in Facebook?
Oh, it's on Facebook. Okay.
No, this is on Instagram. But do you remember creating?
We need a video about that.
Yeah. So I think it's in the IG growth video.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So check that out.
Those are great questions. I think that tracking is always a thing that's like a nemesis for everybody, even after doing this for so long. Like I go from Teamsy to pen to paper to notes in my phone. And I honestly don't know. I would love to hear who has it mastered. Like, does Melanie Mitro even have it mastered? That's the truth. Like Business Tip Tuesday. Tell us the truth.
Or like, does Ashley Molstead track anything? Like,
like, do you really know
all day? Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah, I'll post that video, you guys, in the text replacement, just so that you can see how it's done, especially Manic, so you want to see it. And yeah.
Perfect. Anything else? I need to go eat dinner.
I know.
It's 7:00 here.
I know.
You haven't eaten either. You had popcorn.
I have a call at 8 too. It's just been a crazy day.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Ooh, let's take a picture. Well, there's a bunch of us that aren't on here, but let's take a real quick picture.
Kristen, Dante, put your faces on here. Alicia, are you done? Are
you still nursing?
Are you done feeding your baby?
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, I will post it in a couple places.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a great night.
Have a great night. Bye.